I'm so excited. I'm interviewing my dear friend and soul sister, Lily, today. Our theme is awakening lineage codes and ancestral memory, exploring the call of the priestess path, remembrance as a living spiral of devotion. So, welcome, luminous ones, to the Rose Remembers. Today, we journey with Lily into the living spiral of remembrance, awakening lineage codes, listening to ancestral whispers, and exploring the call of the priestess path. This is not just a conversation, but a beautiful devotion, a weaving of memory, mystery, and modern embodiment. As we open the petals of this rose together, you may feel the resonance of your own ancestral song rising within you. Hi, Lily. How are you, my love?
I am fine. How are you, gorgeous girl?
I'm so good. I'm so thrilled for this. We're so in alignment,
Mm,
and it's going to be just so much fun to do this with you. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I think right now, when the world feels a little bit chaotic, coming back to yourself, coming back to your priestess ways, really starting to feel that energy and how you can lead your life. This is such an important conversation.
Oh, it's such an important one. And I love that we've got that beautiful bridge between Australia and New Zealand. And of course, we're all connected. So even globally, there's that beautiful net that we're casting for everyone that, decides to tap in. And you're quite right.
Mm,
Divine timing. If not now, when? It's so needed with all the
mm.
chaotic craziness of we're not going to even tap into that
No,
because,
we're not.
but anyway, my love, I've got some really gorgeous questions for you and I can't wait to dive deep. So, when did you first feel the call of the priestess path and how did it speak to you?
Mm. I think I've always been intrigued with the mystery and the mystics and the unseen. And I've always actively wanted to lead, even as a child, my environments, um, spaces, but the actual putting that into words, I didn't know what it was. And I
Yes,
never felt like I belonged anywhere. Like I
I can
never
relate to
felt
that.
like the real me fitted in. Like I was always molding myself to fit in. And so for me, the priestess path really started as an activation. And I did a priestess temple school with Julie Parker and Sora. And for me, I had no idea what I was signing up to. I was
Yes.
very much in my own spiritual awakening. I had read The
Mhm.
Mystics of Avalon and a number of books that are really, really resonated with me.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, it was signing up to their mystery school, which they no longer run, that I then went, oh my God, these women are like me. I have somewhere where I
Yeah.
fit, where I had a sense of belonging, and that mystery school went for 18 months. I think it was 18 months, and it was very, very deep.
Yes.
And the word priestess, um, I got to relearn the word of the priestess. I got to relearn an ancient remembering, a reclaiming, um, in a world that wants to keep the feminine very small and contained. And all of a sudden, to be in a space with, 20 other women where I could actually not feel I had to restrict myself, not feel like I felt like my energy was flowing. I didn't have to think about things consciously. Just
Yeah.
my whole world changed.
Yeah.
Mm,
Love that. I
mm,
love that. Those two beautiful women, I can imagine they'd run a wonderful mystery school and to do it for 18 months, that beautiful deepening. But really it's a remembering, it's a
mm,
it's a reclaiming. I love the way you
Mm.
explained that. What qualities do you believe define the modern priestess beyond, the archetype or the title,
Mm.
what do you believe, is that beautiful definition of the modern priestess today?
Oh, that is such a deep question.
I love it when you're thinking, it looks like you're channeling.
Yeah. I think for me, it is a woman that wants to lead with light.
Yes,
It's a woman that really is in her anchored and grounded in her own soul energy and her own light, and she wants to lead and radiate light into the world. And I
yes,
don't necessarily think that is just in the spiritual realm. I think that's in all different, it can show up as a
absolutely.
creator, as an artist, as a
Yes,
and I think that when they want to lead from their soul light, I think that's when we have the ripple effect to truly change the environments, the spaces, the ripple effect of the consciousness and the collective. And I think that's really right now um what the feminine energy, why so many women are remembering, are deeply activated, are asking deeper questions of their soul
definitely.
self. And so I think it's this beautiful, exactly like what you just said, it's this beautiful rose that's peeling back the layers and then the petals and starting to give herself permission. And I think that's really it's actually not asking for permission, it's taking permission for self too.
Yes, that's right. It's really, I really love that. Like, that's such a beautiful way to explain it. Yay. How can
Mm,
someone recognize if they're being invited into priestesshood? Now, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because you
mm,
said that when you first were attracted to the mystery school, that 18-month one, that, you were guided there and you weren't even really sure why. So, how can someone recognize if they're being invited or called or into priestesshood, even if they doubt themselves? Now, this is the interesting thing.
mm. I honestly believe right now we as individuals are getting spiritually nudged more than we've ever had before. And I think our body, we're starting to attune more back to our body wisdom. And I think our body wisdom is what's nudging us forward. And I always say to so many of my clients on a daily basis, if you're getting that nudge or that like synchronicity 3 or 4 times, it's
Yes.
spirit showing you you're being asked to be more. You're being asked to move. You're being asked to take sacred activation. Action. Um, and when I feel into that, I think it's more now than ever before, because the external is getting so loud that we're finding it harder and harder to live in it, that we're actually going more into the internal. That's more of a relationship with Mother Nature, more walking, things that are really slowing us down in order to receive our wisdom. And I think it doesn't happen as like a bang aha moment. Some people it could. I think it's subtle changes and subtle nudges that eventually you go, I'm going to actually plant this seed. I'm actually going to um see what this is and allow it to grow.
Yeah,
And I
the
think it's a
curiosity,
growing within you.
the growing with the new.
Mm,
Absolutely. I often say, Lily, faith in action, not, or like faith it till you make it.
mm,
Um, I love that you explained the nudge is actually, those beautiful breadcrumbs, those beautiful
mm,
stepping stones to that beautiful priestess pathway and to actually action, like awareness is beautiful, but without the action, without the moving forward. And so I love that you explained trusting those subtle nudges and just allowing it to unfurl and unfold. Really, really beautiful. I love that, hun. So
And the
good.
interesting thing was, as much as I studied a priestess temple school, and I've
Yeah.
been part of your mystery school, um, I can say this now with conviction. The priestess pathway, I've probably been on the priestess pathway since 2015. 10 years of devotion, of asking and really deep
That's right.
questioning.
Yeah,
It's only, and my business is named Priestess Lilly.
I
It's
love that.
only now that it's only this significant shift probably in the last 6 months where I'm going, actually, how do I want to lead in the world? How do I,
Yes.
like, I think about it consciously, but it's only now that I'm actually really going, I'm ready to claim that name of priestess. I'm really ready to,
Oh,
it's
wow.
becoming
Yeah.
now an embodiment, an actual physical embodiment
And it's
that
so obvious
I
you're actually
always,
doing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I always thought to function in the world, and you might resonate with this, Susie.
Yeah.
My spirituality was separate. My gift was, even so, it's my gift. It's a pleasure to have it, but my spirituality felt separate from me. It,
Yes.
now that I realize, um,
I can
you know,
resonate with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it felt like it's something that I had to show up for. It's something that I had to.
Yes.
Now I've realized that's actually a living part of an altar within me that I have to. It's the temple within me. It's a devotion within me. It's
That's
a
it.
remembering within me. It's not something where I can choose to be spiritual today, or I
Yes.
can choose, and I am really clear, like I'm a mother too. So at times people do come to me and go, Lily, when I'm standing on the sidelines watching the soccer, da 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 da. And I go, well, actually, I'm a mum today. I'm just being shown up
Yeah.
as Thomas's mum,
That's right.
This is my
Yeah.
time to be a mum.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's only probably in the last 6 months that I've gone, how do I want to lead in the world? How do
Yes.
I want to be remembered in the world? I want to lead from light. There is so much shadow and darkness
Yes.
in
We can feed it, but we choose
in
not to.
but also in the world of spirituality.
Yeah.
Like, I've had to really get into bed with my witch wound, with the shadow, with people
Yes.
believing that I'm things that I'm
Yeah.
not. But actually now I'm just like, this is me.
Yeah.
And I'm
No
actually
spiritual
gonna own it.
bypassing. Yeah, absolutely. No spiritual bypassing. I mean, you and I have both done that deep, dark dive into the shadow. But in saying that, not feeding the darkness in the world is really quite different, right?
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
love
And I
that.
think right now, when there is so much light being anchored on the planet, and we are the light, we are actually the ripple effect of that light. And the light is shining so brightly for people to soak up and lead humanity, lead people in a different context. I think the work that we want to show up in, the work that we're intuitively being pulled into, whatever that is, it might not even
Yeah, of
be spirituality, it could be something completely random.
course. Yeah.
Um, that is if we want to change the world and change the environment and really rebirth into the new earth that's already here, that's already available to us, um we have to we have to change the environments from within. It comes with us, we're being asked
As
to lead.
within, yeah, as within, so without,
Yeah. Mm.
know thyself. I love at Delphi in ancient Greece, the gates of the
Mm.
temple, know thyself. It really does start with self,
Yeah.
And I love that you mentioned too that it doesn't have to be, necessarily a spiritual teacher or a spiritual space holder. It can literally be, being that leader of love,
Mm.
leading from your heart
Mm.
in your own community with your own family. You may be a leader at work,
Yeah.
you may be running a business, whatever it might be. But I loved that you explained that merging as well. Like it's not separate to you, it's a beautiful merge. If you
Mm.
look up the definition of high magic is that beautiful embodiment, that beautiful merging, not that separateness. Not like I'm going to put my crown on today and be Susie psychic healer, and then tomorrow I'm going to be, I think it is. Yeah, of course we've got different roles and
Absolutely.
and we need to have those boundaries, but it doesn't mean I loved that you explained it's kind of once you really understand that embodiment, it's really, really empowering and so beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
gorgeous. I'm going to ask you, because, I think this would be really interesting for our listeners. What challenges have you faced walking this path? I know I have faced many. And how have they shaped your devotion today?
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
oh, God, there's so
Yeah.
many. There's so many. Um,
Yes.
I always believe challenges are life lessons that we have to, and I know so many people are right now learning life lessons, clearing past lives, clearing karmic lines. That is collectively what's happening, and
Yes.
collectively and individually. So that's
Absolutely.
why. So that's why things feel intense. I always believe challenges are a gift. They might not feel like a gift at the time. Um, I've
Doesn't
just
mean they're
had
light and fluffy and fun. Sometimes they can be
yeah,
cruel
dark,
and
discerning.
challenging, right?
Yeah, dark and the descent and the moments where, I always say to people, you might not, even when people, clients of mine, even myself, when you're in the dark, when you're really in the dark and then you're in the shadow descent and, you're being greeted by Hecatite or you're being greeted by, the Moringham, and those dark goddesses scare the crap out of me, but now they don't so much. But I'm always conscious that when they start to show up in my world, um, I'm being asked to shift consciously. I'm being asked, there's always, even when it doesn't feel like you have a choice,
Yep.
there is always a choice. There is divine free will. And over the times that I have been deeply challenged, a marriage separation, um, my business, COVID, a lot of them have been collectively, some of them have been individually. My health things, every layer, so many layers. I always have to say, at the time it has felt like the worst, shittiest, am I ever going to come out of this dark night of the soul? um but it's actually been a rebirthing, and it's actually been a reawakening. And I think this is the thing I really want to leave with the people, the listeners. Well, you don't just awaken once. I think people go, we're awakened and I'm good to go. I, even today, are reawakening. When I think I can seal that witch wound off, or I think I can seal that sister wound off, and I think I've done my work there, there's no more to do, another layer comes forward. And that is because we are multi-dimensional and we are layered. And in order to get to our true magic, we have to descend into those spaces in order to rise higher. And I think that's really what I want to say. Don't be afraid of the darkness that you have within, your sacred rage, your the challenges you're going through. See them as an opportunity to learn something more about yourself, shift your perspective, shift your consciousness, change your environment. It might not seem like there's a choice. And this is the other thing I want to say. Sometimes, I'm deeply going through something like the last 2 weeks, and the energy around me has felt like it's closing down, and I couldn't see a miracle in something. But now I'm like, you know what? This is a sacred offering of me to spend my time, me to show up differently. And also, it's a time for me.
Yes.
And so, there is, with every descent, there normally is a death,
Yeah.
a part of a death of a dying part, a part of you dying. Um, but it offers a reawakening, it offers a rebirthing, it offers you coming down the birthing canal, coming out even more magical. Yeah.
Love that. Um, the gift of free will, that sovereign, beautiful light,
Mm,
radical self-responsibility often frightens people because it sounds like hard work. Happening for us, not to us, for our own spiritual growth, you know.
mm,
Doesn't mean you're not going to be angry, doesn't mean you're not going to be sad. Mad and sad's not bad. It's simply, beautiful feelings that you need to honor, But in saying that, there's always incredible spiritual growth. So I loved the way you explained it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say this. I used to be frightened of my anger. Like I'm a Leo. So, I come out roaring.
Yeah.
I come out fighting. I come out roaring.
I
I'm
love that about
sparking on
you.
all four cylinders.
Yeah.
Um,
That
I used to be
awakened
really,
rebel in you, Lily. Yeah.
yeah, I used to be really frightened of that. I now look at it. I now look at it. My anger is the goddess energy, the sacred goddess energy moving through me. I can
Yes.
use it, and I use my anger as a vehicle to change the world, to change my circumstances. I can sit in my anger, have a pity party. Don't get me wrong, I normally do for a couple of days, eat the chocolate, do whatever I'm meant to be doing. And then I go, then it's a flick of a switch. It's the God. I
Yes.
use my anger as a motivator. It's the goddess moving through me. It's telling me that I need to shift direction, shift spaces, take control, take action, or sit in the same.
Yeah. Love
Mm,
it.
yeah.
So, how do you see the priestess role evolving in today's world? Because there's this amazing quickening happening, there's so many radical changes happening in the world. And of course, as the dinosaurs die off, they cling because they're feeling that they're losing their grip. So, how do you see the priestess role evolving in today's world of rapid change and incredible awakening? Yeah.
Oh, I see it happening on two levels. I see it happening as women, and not just women, people stop consuming. We stop
Yes.
consuming and we go inward. We stop, scroll. We take our time back rather than we give our time. We take our time back.
Oh, I
I
love
see
that.
it being a relationship with Mother Earth. I see women
Yes.
coming more into community,
Yes.
grassroots community projects,
Yes.
where we start. I don't believe that the system is going to change. I think
Yes.
it's about communities changing, starting to gather momentum, the people coming together, we change the system. I think there's going to be an uprising, and I think that's beautiful.
It's already
Um,
happening.
and it's already happening. It's already happening. I think it's through
It's already
conversations
happening.
like this, ripple
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
Um, and I think right now, for so long, for centuries, women have been waiting for permission. We've been waiting to be seen. We've been waiting. We've been shrinking. We've been waiting. I think we're in the uprising of the she energy, the rising of the feminine
Blessed be.
is going to run is that's what's going to start shifting conscious. That's what's going to start shifting consciousness. We've had too many dinosaurs running the show
Yes.
at the cost of the feminine, at the cost of
Yes.
Mother Earth, at the cost of, and I think more and more people, when you realize that in order to living on Mother Earth is a privilege,
Yeah.
and she will rebirth like we will rebirth. She cycles
Yes.
in nature. When we start treating her with more respect,
Yes.
um, she has never not really let us down. She has always provided, there's more than enough resources to go around. And I think
Yes.
when we start looking not as us separate, but us
Yes.
as in partnership,
As a collective.
I think things will start to shift.
Ah,
But I
yes,
think it's the
absolutely.
rising of the feminine, the mothers,
Yes.
the us, woman
Yeah.
holding and taking up their space. And I think about time. It's actually about
Yes.
time.
Yeah. That beautiful sacred feminine that is compassionate, that
Mm,
is caring, that has that beautiful intuitive connection to our earth mother, um, you know, the life givers, not the life takers. So,
yeah.
even men have that beautiful sacred feminine energy it's so beautiful to know that. And you're quite right. I think there's an interesting phenomena happening in the world at the moment where they're trying to control us, and it's getting harder and harder because communities are coming together. They're saying enough is enough. whatever it might be. So I do want to talk a little bit about remembrance as a living spiral of devotion because, priestess work is a lot about self-devotion. It is a lot about really knowing thyself and self-mastership and all that beautiful stuff. So, how do you understand remembrance, not as some kind of static memory, but as a spiral that kind of keeps unfolding? That's quite an abstract question, but I
Hmm.
know you and I are both intuitives, so we can see the we can see the meaning in that. So, that spiral that keeps unfolding, yeah, that beautiful
Hmm.
cycle, as you said, the death, the rebirth, the death, the rebirth. I think I've died many times and come back to life in this lifetime.
Hmm. Mother Nature shows it to us every day.
Yeah,
The winter, the autumn, the spring, the summer.
yes,
Um, she rebirths, dies, comes back
yeah,
fuller, comes back more nurturing, more in nature.
yes.
Um,
We can drain her, we can crack
yeah.
her, we can, she
And
still
I
comes
think
back.
I think when I look at that, um, the more that I become in devotion with Mother Earth, and I didn't see this in my 20s. I didn't see it, didn't really care, None of this was in my conscious realm. Um, the more, but now that I live in like Picton and I'm surrounded by nature and the water and I have a veggie garden and really, really devoted living off the land.
Yes,
Um, she consistently provides for me. Um, it's made me really remember more the value of my own sacred remembering, me unfolding, me um and it's in the winter when I feel like I've got to be on, I've got to be on, got to be on, got to be on, and I
yeah,
see Mother Earth around me, um you know snow and everything that makes me realize that I actually need to come back to self and nurture me. And I'm not we're not designed to be on 24/7. And
no, we're
then
not.
summer I'm out, and I very much now, and if you'd said to me in my 20s, I would have laughed, but I very much now realize that I cycle in unison with her. And I also,
Yes,
my actual cycles in unison with her. That the
absolutely.
reality is that is what I'm remembering, that I'm not,
Yeah,
that's what I'm remembering. And when I sit more in that devotion, I remember more. I remember more
yeah,
of myself. I remember
yeah,
I can be sitting in the garden doing the gardening, pulling out the weeds. And then I remember I have an actual sacred remembering of a past life, like being a
yeah,
herbalist. Or so I think it's just this the soul consistently shows you what you need to know as the more that you sit with it, the more that you sit
yes,
still, the more that you sit more present, the more you sit in nature, the more that you are nourished by nature.
yeah,
um but I think we are so used to being on that
yeah.
I think, and that's me. That's me. I don't want to be on anymore. I actually don't want to
No, it's
be.
exhausting.
Yeah. And
It's
it's
exhausting.
exhausting showing up in a system that's trying to tell you to be on. And that's actually what's making us sick.
Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly.
And I want every woman and everyone to remember you were born as a free spirit. Somehow you have molded yourself to be in the system that is
Yes,
actually not serving you.
no,
You need to connect back to that carefree little girl
exactly.
that that's what we need to remember.
Free-spirited,
Yeah,
you
that the
know.
wild and the that's what
Yeah.
we need to remember. That really didn't answer your question. I kind of
No,
went
it did
rogue.
actually. It did actually. I loved it, that spiral of going within. But as you go within to your own inner wisdom, your own inner well, you're actually connecting to our beautiful Earth Mother,
Mm,
because we're one with her. You did actually explain that extremely well. Totally resonated with me. So, what does devotion look like for you in daily life? You kind of explained a bit of that then, and I'm with you, like, so I think some people think that, an awakening is some kind of crazy cosmic supernova where you're going to be all of a sudden start levitating and, but often devotion in daily life is subtle. It is that remembering, that returning. Um, so beyond ritual, in the ordinary moments, I call it simple abundance, priestess presence, really, really beautiful. So what does it look like for you in daily life? And perhaps you might have some suggestions for our gorgeous listeners as well, my love. Yeah.
Mm. It looks like hands in the ground. Not
Yeah.
daily, but I do go out to my veggie garden, and my husband's built me this beautiful area where I can go and just do my sound bowls
Yes.
in the garden. Um, it looks like walks on the beach, no cell phones, listening to
Yes.
music, making my body move, or making my
Yes.
body move when energy's stuck. Um, I also have, meditate, journal, pull myself oracle cards. It, two other things I want to say that I think are really something to be conscious of. I also check my energy consistently.
Absolutely.
I
So good.
have alarms on my phones that go off, and I literally stop, pause, and listen.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That beautiful
And
checking in,
yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to say is, if you really want, I mean, I've done alt work, I've done everything, but I just think now it's about living more consciously. It's about living more
Yeah.
present. It's really about,
Make it doable too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't, I used to
Make
get
it
up at five
doable.
o'clock every morning and
Yeah.
meditate and journal for an hour. I don't do that anymore.
No.
It happens throughout my day.
Yes.
Something that happened to me 2 weeks ago, my website got hacked, and all of a sudden, I had to take down my booking forms. So you can't, so at the moment, it's still taken down. And Spirit said to me at the time, it felt like the world was crumbling.
Yeah.
Now it's the sacred blessing. That's the miracle in it. Couldn't see it at the time, but now it is. And I remember
Yeah.
walking down my hallway, and a beautiful client painted a beautiful image of the Marlborough Sounds for me. And at the time, I
Oh, I
went, that's
love
such a
that.
beautiful thing.
Such a beautiful
In
place.
that
Yeah.
moment, as I was walking down the hallway, Spirit said to me, that's the view from your batch. And I went, oh, that's interesting. I don't own a batch, but I want one. So I'll own that. And I
Yeah.
just then had this reality check.
Yeah.
What would happen, Lily, if your gift just became yours for a little bit? Your knowing just became yours. Is it something you really need to share, keep consistently sharing with the
Oh, I
world?
know what you mean.
And I just had this moment going, well, maybe everything happens for a reason. This is a recalibration. This is me moving into a different energy space. And I know you'll get what I mean, Suzy.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, the devotion, my gift has never, like, I just went, oh, wow. Yeah. What happens if right now this is just a time for me? And so when you get those nudges, even so they don't make sense, you
Yeah.
know, in that priestess pause, looking at the painting, insight jumped in. If I
Yeah.
was doing my day to day clients, doing everything, running around, being mum, doing all that, I would never have got that insight. So I really want to say, probably for me, it's really about being present in the pause, stopping, listening to the nudges, really getting
Brilliant.
present. Even if you don't like it,
Yeah.
what is it still why don't you like it, what are you still trying to know? So that would probably be my thing. We can show up at altars, we can show up at sound bowl healings,
Right.
we can show up at sacred circles, but it doesn't have to be, I mean, all of
No.
that stuff's beautiful
Yeah.
because I love ceremony too, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong,
Yeah. Of course, you and I both love that stuff.
but sometimes it's just
But yeah.
about being in the pause.
Yes. being in the pause, like really being present in the
Mm,
pause, like getting still, um, so beautiful. And I think, a lot of the really profound wisdom comes through when you're not rushing, when you're not reacting, when you're not like, running around putting out fires. And
yeah.
I think
And I
the other
think
thing I
that's
got from
really,
that, which was a real, sorry, hun, the other thing I got from that, which was a real aha moment was, you know, um, we often use our intuition for others, but,
mm,
to actually use it for self in a really nurturing, supportive way, that really hit home for me. Thank you.
mm. And I think the other thing is, you know, if you want to become masters of your world,
Yeah.
of your own gift in whatever capacity, we have to start looking at our body as a tuning fork. We have to
Yes.
master our nervous system. When our
Yes.
nervous system is activated, we will not feel any closer to our soul or our intuition.
That's right.
And so I think that in a world right now where everything around us is activated, people around us, our loved ones are activated. We
Yeah.
really have to really, and I noticed since 2020, my um unraveling of my nervous system, first and foremost, it's my nervous system. If I really want to feel my gift and feel my knowing, I
So
have
important.
to bring this
Without a
into
doubt.
calm.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Get
And
still.
that's through breath work,
Yeah.
meditation, going for walks,
Yeah.
turning my phone off for the day, not answering. I have days where I just do not answer text messages. I just go, not
Yes.
today.
Yeah.
And so that's really what I want to say. Right now, we are energy in every part of form, and we are
Yes.
responding to the energy around us.
That's right.
Master your energy.
Yes. Our beautiful sacred body temple, our physical temple, is actually a tuning fork.
Yeah.
There's a quote right there from the beautiful Priestess Lilly. It's so true, though. And, I think staying conscious and not
Mm,
going unconscious. Um,
that can
and,
be challenging.
that's the challenge. Absolutely. Some say that unconscious autopilot living is the definition of insanity, right?
Mm,
So, staying super conscious, and it doesn't mean, of course we have, good days and bad days, but I'm talking about, yeah, like really getting back into our bodies, listening to our body wisdom. So cool, Lily. Love this. So good. Okay, so how can remembrance, and you use this word a lot, I notice, and I think, that's one of your beautiful gifts is helping others remember. How can remembrance become a practice of liberation, of freedom, rather than obligation too? You don't want it to be like another job to do, or, oh my God, I've got to go
mm,
and sit in the lotus position and meditate for 90 minutes to connect to higher consciousness, like unrealistic, right?
yeah.
So yeah. How can that remembrance become a practice of freedom rather than, another job to do? Yeah.
I think you just connect. I think it's
Yeah.
just when it becomes more obvious that you like to sit more with yourself
Yeah.
than be in a room with people,
Yes.
that's your remembering. That's you realizing that, I think for so many, and this used to be me, and this is random, or even this is how I'm putting it down. This used to be me. I used to feel like I had to be in that room with those 20 other people. And if I wasn't, then something's wrong with me. Now I'm more than comfortable to walk in a room and have no one talk to me, have no one just walk in and own my space. I'm more than comfortable to say no and sit that time at home by myself because I've remembered it's a remembering of who I am who I am at a soul level. And I think when you start to make conscious choices about
Yeah.
how do I want to remember and hold my reverence, hold my space of who
Reverence.
I
Love that word.
am, and do hold my space of who I am as a being of light. That's when things start to change and shift.
Yeah,
Is that making
exactly.
sense?
Makes so much sense. I think when you're super comfortable with
Mm,
yourself, and you don't feel the need to perform or people please or overcompensate, or you're afraid to be alone. I think when
mm,
you're really super comfortable with your own beautiful essence, and of course that does mean in a room with people and kind of not on your own as well. I think it's very freeing, actually. Like
mm.
there's that remembrance that
Yeah.
becomes a living practice of freedom and liberation, without a
Mm.
doubt. Yeah,
And I think
beautiful
that's the
answer.
thing. There was a time that I couldn't be like that. I actually
Yeah,
couldn't be like that. And now, but he's just saying something. And now I just kind of go, actually, I'm okay. I'm actually okay. And
yes,
I think, I think you know, we look at relationships changing, friendships
yes,
changing, relationships, but I also think we are changing. We are
that's right.
outgrowing what we thought we needed, and we're
Yes,
remembering and we're reclaiming our own sovereignty within ourselves.
yes. That self-governing, self-determining,
Mm.
um, that beautiful gift of free will.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so beautiful. Love that so much. What ways does the spiral of devotion, I'll start that again. In what ways does the spiral of devotion connect us both to our ancestors and our descendants? Like that beautiful connection with our ancestral guides and our beautiful descendants, yeah,
Oh, I love this question. I love this question. I believe we have a white thread and a red thread, one being our feminine, our mother line, one being our father line. And I
beautiful.
think throughout our lifespan, whether we physically know who our father is or our mother is, I
Yeah,
think throughout our lifespan, at one point one of those are pulled, and
yeah,
it's an unraveling of belonging, connection, our sense of self, our health in the physical world.
yes,
Um, and I think that spiral, once we like realize that we're part of an ancestral lineage, unseen and physical seen, unseen in the world and physically seen in the world,
yes, yeah.
um, that
Up
is
and down
actually
the
where the
tree.
magic happens. That's when you realize there's
Yeah.
more than one person you can call on.
Yes,
Hi mum, can you come and help me? But the unseen, that's when you realize there's more people on your team than you ever realized before. And that's when you have the ability to actually create.
yes. What a great answer.
Mm.
I know for
And I
me, really kind of tapping into my own origins, my own origin story, my own
Yeah,
heritage. I had a challenging relationship with my parents, but I had a magnificent relationship with my grandparents and my aunties. Um, but I feel for me, the most healing thing was to reclaim my lineage,
yeah,
my Portuguese lineage, my Celtic lineage, to actually really tap into that and connect with my ancestors. For me, I know it's been incredibly healing and transformational, actually.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, I would say the same. I've done so much work around, my mother wound, and I love
yeah,
my mother, but just certain things. And I want to say this. don't be afraid to do your shadow work around this, because it can actually, it's a reclaiming. And I remember, I always say to a lot of my clients, the stuff that you don't look at, that you're too scared to go into, becomes your children's problems, becomes your
Exactly.
unhealed bullshit,
Yes.
becomes your
They're
children's
unhealed bullshit.
yeah, their unhealed bullshit. So I
Yeah.
kind of go, I want to shift. I don't want my beautiful son to carry some of my pain into his next
Yeah.
relationship, next, what, so it's like I've got to show up and do the work. And I
Yeah.
think that that is so important. And I think that when we really reclaim our lineage, our ancestral
Yes.
wounds, our where do I belong, where do I come from,
Yeah. My
that
country.
spiral just unravels. And
Yeah.
then, the unseen world, our guides, our knowing just becomes deeper. Like I remember meditating one day and this lady kept coming through to me and I had no idea who she was. Not a clue. Because I'd never met some of my grandparents. And I remember saying to mum one day, Mum, can I look at some family photos? And mum, we're looking through all these family photos. And this woman was my mum, my nana's great grandma. Now, my family on my nana's side are Scottish,
Yes.
and my nana was a witch, but couldn't talk about it. And,
Yeah.
once I really started to look at my family lineage, I actually come from some pretty strong priestess, witch, whatever you want to call it,
Yes.
energy in the from Scotland. And
Yes.
that makes complete sense to me. Why,
Yeah.
when my witch wound is activated, why I'm
Yes.
so, I mean, I'd like to think I've done so much healing on it, but it makes
Yeah.
complete sense to me because it's also an ancestral thread, but it's also um it's an ancestral thread within my lineage, but it's
Yeah.
also a past life for me. Makes complete sense.
Makes so much sense. Absolutely.
But some
Love that.
people don't know that that stuff's still impacting them now.
Yeah. That's
Hmm.
right. It's that, it's scientific, it's spiritual. Of course, you carry all sorts of things in your DNA, right?
Yeah, and that's also
Um,
part of that remembering.
that's right, but you've also got the patterns from family, there's just so many
Oh,
things that
yes.
you can unravel. So that beautiful spiral within is also the unraveling of
Mm.
any, ancestral patterns that no longer serve you, but certainly don't serve, your beautiful children either.
No,
So love that. Love that. If remembrance is a spiral, my darling Lily, where do you feel yourself standing within it right now?
I think this changes depending on what's happening around me.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
fluid,
Yeah,
fluent.
I
Yeah,
think it's never ending.
yeah,
I think I'm consistently moving through it.
yeah.
And when
Love
you
it.
said remembering, if remembering, where do you stand in it right now? I actually got, I'm actually reclaiming. I got, I'm, I've remembered, but I'm actually reclaiming my space in the world.
Yes, I love that. Reclaiming your sacred space, your place.
Mm,
So powerful,
mm,
so beautiful. Love that.
mm.
Yay. Well, this is part one of a series. So, how exciting. Priestess Lily gets to interview me next. So, we're going to have
Mm.
so much fun with this series. I did write a beautiful mantra for this particular session, and it's the rose remembers, and so do I. How
Oh,
beautiful is that? Love that.
oh, I love that.
Yay. Thank you, my love. So excited for round two, round
Mm.
three, round four. Here we go. I'm just going to close off our beautiful session. So, as our spiral of remembrance comes full circle, may the devotion we've touched today continue to unfold in your own life. The rose remembers, and so do you. Carry these codes of lineage, priestesshood, and devotion into your daily walk, knowing that remembrance is never finished. It's a living spiral, always inviting you deeper. Thank you, Letty, for sharing your wisdom. And thank you, dear listener, for walking this path of remembrance with us. Yay.
Thank you.